So let's go ahead and start. Ladies and gents, welcome to the weekly Friday Edge Q&A, where we broadcast live. We let you guys give us comments and questions, and we go over them, and we talk about what's going on in the cryptocurrency space in general. So who is we? My name is Kylan Hurt, and I am a developer for Edge, and we have, it's her debut on the live Q&A. We have the crypto accountant herself, Miss Jessica Payne. Welcome.
Thank you. I usually like to hide behind the scenes, but today Captain Crypto has brought me out of my shell.
Right. So what we do is every week we go over things with in our broadcast. We like to rotate who's doing it because we don't want you guys always seeing the same people, and we want to make sure that our team members are able to get some time on the mic, get some practice speaking. After all, speaking is one of those things that is very important. We're trying to spread the good word about cryptocurrency and Edge in general. So for those of you who are not familiar with what Edge is, we are a team whose primary product is a mobile application, is a cryptocurrency wallet. It is available on both iOS and Android. It has support for, I think, almost a dozen cryptocurrencies now. I don't even know if I can name them all off. It's like Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin Dash, Ethereum, Monero, Ripple, Feathercoin, UFO Coin. There's a few more in there.
I almost felt like this was going to be a rap song, and like you were just going to start spitting some lyrics.
Yeah, maybe I'll come up with a rhyme at some point.
Or anybody else can.
But yeah, we recently added support for Monero and Ripple, and we're in a good spot where our architecture makes it so that we can add currencies fairly rapidly. So if you are interested in seeing a specific cryptocurrency added to Edge Wallet, go ahead and contact us. You can go to our new website, which is edge.app. There actually is an area where you can fill out a form and request that a specific cryptocurrency be added. So our mobile wallet is available on both iOS and Android. The easiest way to get your hands on it is to go to edge.app. That is the safest way to make sure that you're not getting some knockoff wallet, if that makes sense. So during the course of the week, we get a lot of questions. We also do take questions live, but for those of you who, let's see here, but during the week, we do get a lot of questions, and I think it's time that we start going through some of them. So let's see here. Where should we start? Do you have a specific question you want to start off with?
I like the one, how do you accept crypto for a small business?
How do you accept cryptocurrency if you are a small business? Do you have the answer for that?
I do.
Okay.
You start with downloading the Edge Wallet app because you need to be able to keep track of your transactions. It's really important as a business to show accountability in everything that you're doing within accounting. And so having a CSV and a QBO file to download from your wallet and write into Excel or QuickBooks is pretty amazing.
Yes, so can you explain what a QBO file is or a CSV file?
Yeah, so a CSV file is a comma-separated value file, and this is specifically to Excel. Within this, it gives you the data that you need sometimes to integrate into other platforms, and sometimes your tax accountant might ask for that. But it basically tells you, with the information that we give as Edge the Wallet, we give a certain amount of information as how much your transaction was in bits, how much your transaction, the current value of Bitcoin when you transferred it, or your other cryptocurrency, and how much it would be in US dollars. So all of those three things are very much needed to go ahead and put one single transaction in. So it can become very aggressive, but more than that, it can become overwhelming when people don't understand exactly how to do cryptocurrency accounting.
Yeah, and this has become especially important within the last year because I believe one of the regulators for the United States, which is where we are based, they decided that for cryptocurrency, whenever you're doing exchange, which includes exchanging cryptocurrency to fiat, like to US dollars, that's actually a taxable event where you have to pay capital gains. So if you're someone who's using cryptocurrency a lot, especially like a small business who maybe has a point of sale, keeping track of that can be a bit of a nightmare. So our most recent release added support for exporting to QuickBooks and to CSV to make that, how would I say it, to make that process easier, because the last thing that we want is for our users to end up behind bars or destitute because they were not able to keep track of their taxable income and capital gains properly.
Yeah.
So we are doing our best to look out for our users. That's kind of the name of the game here at Edge.
I do want to let you guys know I did plug QuickBooks, but I also want you to know that QuickBooks Online is the only way that you can utilize Bitcoin at this very time. Unfortunately, they don't have an APK directly to any application, so you have to import an exportable file. With that being said, they only take Bitcoin. So if you have Dash, Monero, Bitcoin Cash, you're going to have to use alternative currencies, maybe Swahili dollars or something else that you probably typically wouldn't use to rename it as a currency. So it can become very complicated in that form as well.
Yes, sounds complicated. When you say use QuickBooks with Bitcoin, are you saying you're paying for QuickBooks with Bitcoin, or you're?
So you can actually track your Bitcoin amounts in your transactions in Bitcoin in QuickBooks and have it pushed out into US dollar amounts. So you have the dollar amount and then you have the amount of Bitcoin that you used.
Yeah, it's useful because I know once I started using cryptocurrency, I used to use Quicken all the time. It was linked to my Wells Fargo account, but now I have a Coinbase, a Shift card, lots of Bitcoin stuff going on, and Quicken, which is not the same actually, does a very poor job of keeping track of it. I essentially gave up.
Yeah. I like Quicken for mortgages and stuff. That's
Yeah.
pretty nice to manage multiple mortgages.
Cool. Can you move your microphone closer?
Yeah.
Do you want to take the next question as well? We can keep on the
yeah,
accounting topic while we have the crypto accountant herself here.
Yeah, definitely. What are some of the biggest banks for crypto companies?
Are there any? Not Wells Fargo, I can tell you that much.
This is my answer, politically correct answer. We have heard in the industry, Silvergate is a great bank, but we do not use Silvergate.
Yeah, where are they based out of?
I don't know exactly where they're based out of, but I do know that they have a location in Carlsbad, where I'm from. So,
ooh, Carlsbad, Seabad.
Yeah. Right by the sea, for real. But I know that they have a location here in San Diego, but from what I heard from a little birdie, that there is a good amount of crypto companies that use Silvergate as their preferred bank, even though they don't market to the cryptocurrency world. That is who most people use.
Got it. So, do you mind if we have a question already. Ryan Gist from, I don't know where he's from. He's on Facebook. He asks, curious to see what makes the Edge wallet so different from other wallets in the space. Do you want to start it off? You can start it off. I'll finish it.
Besides the fact that the Edge wallet has got to be the best wallet because you get private keys. I love marketing the fact that we allow you to hold your own funds. We open the door for you to really, really be secure. And it's scary to me because I have family that has lost money in Mt. Gox and other heists, and I just really, really appreciate a company that, one, I get to work for, and I don't like to be a part of any team that I don't believe in, and two, a company that is consistently adding new coins and allowing you to hold them all yourself. That's pretty amazing.
All right, so I'm a developer here, so we're going to get a little technical. I feel like this is going to take like 10 minutes. Okay, so where do I start? Probably the biggest, there's a few things. So we are a type of wallet that lets you hold on to your own private keys. So there are some other, and some people argue they're not even wallets, but something like Coinbase or or like an exchange, they are the ones that are holding on to the private keys, and you might feel like the money's yours, but ultimately you have to ask them for permission in order to do anything with the funds. That's why they'll put limits on it. They'll tell you where you can and cannot go. They'll make you give identification, stuff like that. With our application, we let you have the private keys, and they are only ever on your phone in an unencrypted form when you've been using your username and password. Now, one of the key things that we have that most other mobile wallets do not have is that we actually back up your private keys in an encrypted fashion in our databases. So that's great because when you lose your phone, which everyone loses their phone, or their phone breaks, or it gets stolen, then that means all you have to do in order to get access to your funds again, all you have to do is, once you get the new phone, you download the app, you put in your username and password, and you're back in. And we have security experts who make sure that when we back up your private keys and all your information on our servers, that it is done in a way that it is consistent with, how would I say it, with industry standards, with industry best practices. Now, one of the main things you'll notice that is different, especially from what I just said, is that our mobile wallet actually uses a username and password. So a lot of the other mobile wallets, they're going to make you write down some 12-word, 24-word, 25-word mnemonic phrase. And what we found is when it comes to user experience, that that's just a nightmare. And in my opinion, my personal opinion, it is a nightmare. The second I see someone asking me to take a pen and paper and write down 12 or 24 mnemonic words, I'm pretty much done with it. I really don't care to do that. Most people really don't either. They're more familiar with the username and password. So those mnemonic phrases might appeal to, those hardcore tech, crypto, cypherpunks, but we're not trying to just target those users. We're trying to target the mainstream, millions of users, the 99% of people who don't even know what a mnemonic phrase is or what it's for. Now, also, the more you write down this mnemonic phrase, if you write it down on paper, it can catch fire, you can lose it. Okay, so why don't you write it down a few more times? Well, the more times you write down a mnemonic phrase, the more likely it is that someone else will come across it. And as time goes on, people are starting to realize what these mnemonic phrases are for. If I saw a piece of paper with 12 random words on it, you better believe I know what that's for. Now, luckily, I'm not the type of person who's a thief. I'm not your adversary, but there are adversaries out there. And when it comes to cryptocurrency, you need to behave in a fashion that is paranoid, because if you're not, then you will lose your money. So a good thing too is, and we're going to get a little bit more, I don't know if I'd say abstract, but as time has gone on, our team has started to look more at cryptocurrency wallets, not just as a wallet, but also kind of as a browser. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but imagine you're using something like Google Chrome. You have all these settings that you've set on your browser. You have your saved passwords. You have your bookmarks, stuff like that. If you lose your laptop, do you want to have to go through the process of bookmarking all those sites over again? No, what you do is you relog into your Google account where your information is backed up. And the assumption is you hope that Google will keep your, your data safe. And at Edge, what we do is like I said, we use best practices to make sure that your information is backed up appropriately. And the one of the major differences too, though, is that when we back things up, how would I say this? One of the big differences is that, we don't look at any of your private data. So what you do with your money is your business in the literal sense and the figurative sense. We're not interested in knowing what you're doing with it, because ultimately it's your money, your business, and we believe that our users should be allowed to have privacy. And one more thing, when I talk about the browser, you might be asking yourself, well, how is a wallet a browser? But with our Edge login feature, we have built software to make it in order. How do I say this? We've built the software to make it easy for people to interact with decentralized applications, with dApps, which you might be asking yourself, well, what's a decentralized app? Well, it's essentially the future of the internet. There's a term, they call it Web 3. You've had Web 1.0, 2.0. Well, Web 3.0 is about Internet of Things, which includes the Internet of Money and cryptocurrency. And you're going to see a lot of decentralized applications coming out. And instead of having to keep track of all the different private keys for those decentralized applications, what we're doing is we are partnering with these decentralized applications, and we are helping you manage your passwords and your private keys, so that your wallet can become a little bit like a browser. You may be able to use their decentralized applications through Edge. In general, there will be a tight partnership between Edge and those decentralized applications. And there's going to be more and more functionality and features that are going to be added to mobile wallets, because those are the place that have the easiest access to your money. So I think in the long term, that's kind of how we're looking at cryptocurrency in general. One more thing I should add is that when we built the architecture for our Edge wallet, we did it in a way so that for cryptocurrencies being integrated, we created a sort of standardized API to make it as easy as possible for us to add different cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoin, but all sorts of cryptocurrencies, because they might be different from each other, but they do tend to have certain things in common. So by creating an interface that was standardized, we've made it so that we can add cryptocurrencies as quickly as possible, which is what we want because we know our users, a lot of them have a lot of different cryptocurrencies. We want them to be able to store them all safely and securely in one place, Edge Wallet.
Yes.
All right, that was long-winded, but I think that was relatively comprehensive. So let's see what other questions that we have here. Do you have a specific one you want to go over? Another accountant one? I feel like I stole the mic for a few minutes there.
Yeah, I was going to drop we are the first, we are one of the first wallets to come out with the private key holdings for XRP as well. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, it is definitely a badge.
So it's nice for those XRPers.
Yeah, definitely a badge of honor.
Yeah.
Monero as well. There are other mobile wallets that do support Monero, but they tend to only support Monero. So a couple weeks ago, we added support for Monero. And soon you'll be able to actually point to your own custom node as well. We're working on that as well.
Kylan's working
Like I
on
said,
that.
we are privacy advocates. I think that's a big part of what cryptocurrency is about. Letting you control what information there is about your money and who has that information.
So since you just said that, let's move on to the top 5 Bitcoin beginner mistakes to watch out for. We are privacy advocates. So I'd like to see what Kylan would assess as his top 5. And then I'll go in to tell you my top 5 because it was really tough.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think here. So it's interesting because you can look at this from the standpoint of just a user of cryptocurrency, but then also you can also look at it as as an actual investor. So I don't know if I have 5 as a user. The first one, always double check the address that you're sending to. There's a lot of malware out there. So if you're typing something in or you're especially if you're copying and pasting, there's actually malware out there that when you paste it, it will replace the sending address with the sending address of the hacker that created the malware.
Yeah.
And that is one of the most common ways that people lose stuff. I would also say don't ever type your private keys into a computer. Do your best to not type in any sensitive information. If you're sending something to yourself, like a private key, do yourself a favor and encrypt it first. You can use something like PGP, which stands for pretty good privacy. It's kind of a little bit of a technical thing. I'm trying to think here. If you're not sure about the address you're sending to, go ahead and send a small amount first. And then once you see it actually go through, then you can send the actual full large amount. I think those are some good ones. I'm actually going to go over some ones that are actually this is a little bit more investment related. If you're looking at cryptocurrencies and investment, which this is not investment advice. This is just what I keep in mind. Don't ever invest more than you're willing to lose. Look at it as a medium to long-term investment, not a get-rich-quick scheme. Maintain control over your private keys. That's probably number one. Yeah, so if you're using cryptocurrency and you don't know what private keys are, you're doing it wrong. Look it up and find out as much about it, learn as much about it as you can, because ultimately the private keys are what make it all happen. It's what gives someone control over the funds. So if someone else has your private keys, and they say the funds aren't yours. Let's see here. And then of course consider leaving a buffer if you're using cryptocurrency as an investment. Leave some U.S. dollars in your bank account because the last thing you want to do is to have to pull out money for your rent when cryptocurrency's lost 70% of its value, like it did earlier this year.
And your wife's like, "Where's my money?
Yeah,
I can't pay rent."
Yeah, I think that's enough for my advice. What do you think, Jessica?
My number one would definitely be starting with an Edge wallet. I mean, chill, but I definitely would suggest everybody download the Edge wallet. Make sure that you hold your private keys because obviously that's the most important thing. And we also have Shapeshift, so you have crypto to crypto. And let's just say that you learned about something really quickly and you're like, I'm so excited and the price is down on Ethereum and I want to buy it and I don't know how to buy it. Oh, wait, there's Shapeshift inside of Edge wallet and it's there. So I think that would be my number one. Obviously, not understanding what you're investing in, I would not go to the top 100 list and just close my eyes and pick one to pick.
I have friends that do that. Yeah, it works when the market's up, and then it fails horribly when it goes down.
I have a whole bunch of altcoin girls that I follow, and they go crazy on some of these ones, and I just get like, oh my god, what are you in? Definitely investing too much too fast. I had a couple friends that were really, really into crypto last year. Like, Jessica, I want to put all of my money in. And I'm like, you never want to put more than what you're willing to lose. Jessica, I'm willing to lose it. And these are some of my same friends that were like,
but are you really?
BitConnect. And I was like, wait, BitCahoo? Like, no, stay away from that. And they were so glad they did. And I had friends that were investing in 11, 12, 13,000 last year. And I kind of cut them off a little bit. I was like, let's just wait and see how the market works. And it sure as heck went straight down. And they were just like, okay, we're glad we waited. And they've kind of been on the outs, but they still have their funds holding. I definitely think hodling, especially when it comes to Bitcoin, people's biggest mistakes is not holding. I mean, the hardest thing to do, and I can tell you as a person that has been holding Bitcoin since April of 2017 when it was $1,000, is to continue to hold as you see it go up, as you see it go down, as you see it go round and round. Like, I just get scared sometimes, but then you close your eyes, you close crypto Twitter and stop listening to all the propaganda and you're good to go. And then obviously with the Edge wallet, do not lose your username or your password.
That's a good one.
Floorboards, piggy banks. If you have a favorite cup inside the cabinet you never use, find somewhere that makes sense to you. If you want to leave your username and password, if you want to tell your lawyer, you can tell your lawyer, but you have to be worried that person might take,
right.
your trust for granted. So.
Yeah, so if you learn PGP, you can actually type in your username and password, then you can encrypt it and then send it to yourself, and you can just Gmail it to yourself, and Google, all they see is an encrypted version, which is useless, and then later you can decrypt it if you want. So that may or may not be what I do.
I use my kid's piggy bank.
Yeah, there's a term called security through obscurity too. So when you have specific habits, security habits, don't tell everyone about it. Don't tell people, hey, I have so much money here. Yeah, I have like this hardware wallet that I keep it in this one place. That doesn't it doesn't do you any good to tell people information about your money.
Less is more.
Yeah, so do a cost benefit analysis when it comes to giving out information about your cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next one? What do we got?
Who are the most influential Bitcoin or crypto people to watch for? And before Kylan gets into his long conversation, because I know he's been thinking about this one for the past week, I'm just going to tell you Paul Pui is my favorite. Shill.
That's our boss for the record. She's brown nosing over there.
I got a good tan. It's not a brown nose. And then also go through my follow Fridays. I give a good list every Friday. I try and keep my queens of crypto and my kings of crypto and my influencers and people that help me to understand things. Even though I work in this company with a whole bunch of people that understand things, it's great to have a new perspective. So check out my Follow Fridays and you'll totally see a great group of people.
Yeah, so the best place to look really is on Twitter. You can go on Reddit as well. I'm going to name off several people. Some of you guys are not going to like, and I get it. There's conflicts between different factions within cryptocurrency. Probably, I hate to say number one. I feel like everyone kind of agrees that he's number one, is Andreas Antonopoulos. Yes. He's so well-spoken. I mean, there are times where you're like, okay, this guy's really smart, and then you hear him next time, and he's getting more advanced, more well-spoken. Yes. He's very, very eloquent with his words. I know people don't like this guy, but Roger Ver he's the guy that gets things done. So even if you don't like him, he's worth paying attention to. Nick Szabo's a cryptographer. Craig Wright thinks he's Satoshi. I don't think he's Satoshi, but he also is worth paying attention to. Adam Back is another cryptographer. Let's see here. Peter Todd is another cryptographer. Fluffy Pony and Paul Shapiro are kind of the people who really have pushed Monero forward, so I like hearing what they have to do about privacy in general. Obviously, Vitalik Buterin, although he's not very vocal, he is a guy that is getting a lot of things done. Yeah. Now, there's a guy, I'm trying to remember his last name, it's Vlad something, but he's another Ethereum guy. Jimmy Song is one, also Kyle Samani's another one. Eric Voorhees is another good one. He's CEO. He's kind of the guy that's in charge of Shapeshift. Trying to think what else. This guy, they call him CZ. He's in charge of Binance. That's also another one that's good to pay attention to. trying to think, what are some other the big companies?
I definitely think if you have a project you're behind, follow some of the developers, follow the team on there, find out what the intricate parts that you're not seeing in mainstream media and you want to be more developed into. So definitely follow into your projects.
Yeah, and then Charlie Lee's in charge of, not in charge, he's kind of the guy that, not kind of, he's the guy that founded Litecoin, so he's obviously worth paying attention to as well. I think that's pretty good. I think we've gone through quite a
definitely.
bit. Yeah.
So if you didn't have any good follows, now you do.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe they'll follow you back.
Yeah, go on Twitter. There's just plenty of stuff going on. You get up to the minute updates on what's going on Twitter. So if you go to Reddit, I know I used to like Reddit and the subreddits for the different cryptocurrencies, but now it's just a bunch of people shilling. So if you say anything negative about a cryptocurrency, it just gets bombarded with negative downvotes, right? So
you mean trolls?
Yeah, there's a problem with social media these days. No one's happy with it. There's a lot of censorship going on, people getting banned, and so hopefully decentralized applications will be able to make something that's better. Did you know, this is off topic, but for those of you who are into Steam, sounds like Dan Larimer, who's the guy that invented Steam, I think they're building out a new, they're calling it Steam 2.0 on EOS. So we'll see. I think
cool.
in 5 years, social media is going to be all cryptocurrency based. So
that and cryptocurrency trolls and all our haters that go along with it.
Well, the thing is, if you can make it costly to be a troll, then people will lose incentive to do trolling. So if you can find a way to use game theory to make it not worth someone's time to be a troll, then you can actually increase the quality and the experience for users on social media or any decentralized application.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got?
This is my favorite question. Are you ready?
Like ever?
Ever. Is it required to have a beard to join Edge?
I
don't know.
You know, we got Jessica from the circus. She was no, I'm kidding.
I was the bearded woman.
She was the bearded woman, yeah.
I got this lasering thing.
Yeah, no, we have a lot of people on our team who have beards. I don't really know why that is. Maybe because we're developers. We have that stereotypical neck beard thing going on, like basement dweller. But yeah, we have a lot of facial hair, and I don't really think it's like a contest or anything, but I for sure have the best beard. Yeah,
I think a bunch of the people at the office would want to go for that one. I definitely think if you have amazing eyebrows, it's like a beard or eyebrows around here. And
it's the ladies'
awesome
version of a beard.
Yes,
right?
yes. And you ladies know what I'm talking about. Eyebrows on fleek all the time.
There you go. All right, what else we got here?
Oh. How about this one? Will Decred support staking? Or will that be a future in the Decred update?
It's funny because that makes it sound like Decred is the one that's supposed to support. Well, okay, so I don't know too much. I'm a developer, right? So I'll take this. I don't know too much about Decred. I think it's a hybrid system, if I remember correctly, between proof of work and proof of stake. Now we are working on integrating Decred. I know some people have asked us about that, and how would I say this? The Decred project kind of has to meet us halfway on certain things. We don't have an unlimited amount of resources, but Decred, they do have a fund that I believe is worked into the mining fees where they have some money and some resources. So if you want to pressure them a little bit to help with the integration into Edge, we would certainly appreciate it. I know a lot of users who hold Decred would appreciate it as well. So we have not added any proof of stake coins yet. I don't even think we've added any hybrid coins yet. They've all been proof of work. So there will have to be a certain amount of, how would I say it, functionality on the user interface and the core and plugin sides in order to make it so that we can properly integrate a proof of stake coin. Now, once we build that out, I don't know which cryptocurrency will be the first one that we do. There's probably a good chance it could be Decred, it might be EOS. But once we've done it once, then doing it again for other coins becomes a lot easier. So it's always hard to get over that first one, but once we're over that, then we can start stacking up the proof of stake cryptocurrencies. Yeah. Now, for those of you who don't know what proof of stake is, I won't go too much into it. It's essentially the people making the decision on the blockchain are the people who have a bunch of the coin. It's typically weighted by how much you have. Whereas something like proof of work, the people building the blockchain essentially are the ones who have put in the most processing power. So, the gigahashes, stuff like that. So there is a big, I would call it a debate over which one's the better one or which one can work better in the future. And proof of work is already proven. It's not to say that it's perfect because there have been 51% attacks on some cryptocurrencies, but proof of stake is very much unproven. So that's why a lot of people are doing a hybrid. So it's kind of a little bit of both. And I think the hybrid systems are doing pretty well so far, but it's still early on in the history of cryptocurrency. So back to the question: will Decred support staking? Yeah, if we support a proof of stake cryptocurrency, most likely we would first integrate it without the ability to stake, so that we can do things in increments. So you'll be able to send and receive it. Then after that, we would add functionality for the actual staking and maybe even the voting process. So hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah. And just before we cut this Q&A off, I just want to say hi to JC and Crypto Ron from the Netherlands and Club 80. Thanks for always watching on YouTube and always leaving us nice and lovely comments on Twitter.
Yeah, we like interacting with our, with our users and our
fan base.
Dare I call them fans?
Yeah,
I'm calling
not afraid
you
to call you guys
fans.
our amazing fans because
Yeah.
we really do all of this work here for you.
Yeah, and also to pay some of my bills, but don't tell anyone.
Yeah, I don't have bills.
Yeah,
Everything's free.
Let's see here. Let's go over some more. Should we go over PayPal, or is that the one you didn't want to talk about?
Yeah, that's the one I didn't want to talk about. I'm not a big fan of PayPal.
Skip it.
Or Venmo.
Does the introduction of cryptocurrencies affect the price of new cryptocurrencies? So this is an easy one. In general, the introduction of a new cryptocurrency, would that affect the price of Bitcoin? No, because in the beginning, no one's using that cryptocurrency. The bigger a cryptocurrency becomes, the more built out it becomes, the more it can become a threat and eat into the market share of any other cryptocurrency. So the introduction, like in the beginning, not really. Maybe something like EOS kind of could, but Bitcoin and EOS are really different. Maybe if they were hyped up enough, maybe. But even when you introduce it, it has not proven itself yet. So you can talk about how great a cryptocurrency is going to be until it has a proven track record. It's just it's just fantasy essentially. Let's see here. What do we think? SEC? Or is that too long of a topic?
That would definitely be a long topic, and we're already pushing time right now. You got a lunch to
we'll
get
do
to.
one more.
Okay.
Which one do you want to do?
Let's do the PayPal.
All right.
Let's talk about why it's dangerous to sell Bitcoin on PayPal or any other banking apps like Cash App or Venmo. And selling Bitcoin to somebody that's not an exchange and not your friend is not always a good idea. I can personally tell you, just to see how it all worked, I used local Bitcoin. And I found somebody on local Bitcoin that wanted to buy like $200 or $300 worth of Bitcoin from me. And he goes, okay, well, can you Venmo it? I've never used Venmo, so I signed up for Venmo. They ask you for your driver's license. I mean, they could have asked me for my firstborn kid. And I was just like, what? Anyways, just to send simple funds. And I saw my friends were using this application. Well, they found out that I was selling Bitcoin on Venmo, and I got banned. I got banned by my driver's license. I couldn't come in as anything else besides, you have to submit your driver's license to get a Venmo account, and I couldn't get another one.
Suspicious activity.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of suspicious stuff you're doing over there. So I think, and maybe there's multiple reasons why someone like PayPal or Venmo doesn't like cryptocurrency. First of all, you can argue that cryptocurrency has a little bit more anonymity, so maybe there's an increased risk of money laundering, and they in general don't want to be part of that. They have to follow know your customer and anti-money laundering laws.
Yeah.
So they don't have much incentive to really support it. But one of the big things, and one of the reasons why you shouldn't use cryptocurrency with PayPal is that PayPal has the ability to reverse transactions and activity. So most likely what was happening is people were selling and buying Bitcoin with PayPal, and then they were trying to do chargebacks later. And when they do that, it creates all sorts of headaches for a centralized money. What's the term I'm looking for? Money. Well, anyways, essentially, money
Merchant.
processor. Thank you. So it creates more headaches than it helps. But so if it were something where PayPal or Venmo wanted to do cryptocurrency, most likely they would have to have it integrated into their application. But so far, I have not really seen any movement for them to do that. And in general, that's not their wheelhouse. So as much as I love Elon Musk for creating PayPal, it's had its day in the sun, I think. Those fees, too. Those fees are just...
They're terrible.
Oh, man, it's crazy.
Man, and besides just the fact that you can do a chargeback. How about the idea that somebody stole your credit card and went off and tried to pay somebody for Bitcoin with your credit card, and all of a sudden your credit card's not in your wallet?
Yeah.
You see all these crazy charges. Well, you have alternatives like Cash App. So when you open up Cash App, it's a great application, except for you can only buy Bitcoin from Cash App. So you can't put Bitcoin in your wallet and your Cash App wallet. It doesn't do that. It just allows you to buy Bitcoin from Cash App. You have to use their processor.
Where does the Bitcoin go then?
Well, no, you can buy the Bitcoin inside the Cash App, but you can only buy it from them. So you can't send it from one wallet to another wallet.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get you on the fees there too.
Yeah, they're like, okay, if you're gonna do Bitcoin, do it through us, and then they take a cut, right?
Yeah.
That's the name of the game for them.
Yeah. Well, everybody's out to make money.
Yep. Well, we work in the industry of money, digital money, the internet of money.
The best kind of money.
All right, I think that's it for today. So keep in mind that we do this every Friday. Like I said, we kind of mix things up on who's actually going to be hosting it. But every Friday at noon Pacific time. So if you want to shoot us some questions and comments to any of our social media, it's Edge Secure on Twitter. If you look up Edge, I think Edge Wallet on Facebook.
Yes.
On YouTube, I think it's Edge or Edge Wallet. In general, if you just go to edge.app, which is our new website, you can find all of our social media there. Like I said, shoot us some questions and comments. If we receive them during the week, it gives us a little bit more time to do some research if it's a kind of specialized topic, and we try to answer them as soon as possible in the next Q&A, or at least one of the following Q&As.
Yeah, and we like to throw out some polls to make sure that you guys know what we are trying to add to our application, and we can find out from you what you would prefer us to add to our application.
Right. This is almost like governance, right? It's a little bit of a democracy. So again, it's our mobile wallet is available on iOS and Android. If you go to edge.app, you can find out about it there. Give it a whirl. Let us know what you think. Because like we said, we pay attention to the community. And until next time, this is Kylan and Jessica.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Take
Have
care.
a good one. Take care.